Hello everyone. Today let's look at these slides and it mainly talks about the interesting Chinese verbs. 汉语中的有趣动词。快来跟 Lexie 老师学一学吧。Okay, since we all know that Chinese and English have some similar grammar. So in English, we have verb and object. Also in Chinese, we have verb and object. 动词 is verb, 宾语 is object. For someone who don't know what an object is a noun phrase, or a pronoun that's affected by the action of a verb. Okay, so let's look at the first picture. The boy and girl, they are what the floor. In English, you say sweep the floor, right? Sweep the floor. So in Chinese, this verb is 扫地,扫地,扫 the third tone, 扫地. By the way, these category are belong to house chores. So if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend who comes from China or who speaks Chinese, well, this presentation might help you for your daily communication. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's have a look. So this one in English, you say mop the floor, right? Mop the floor. So it involves water and then you have a mop and to maybe spread the water around and then clean it, right? We say 擦地,擦地,拖地,拖地,抹地,抹地. The first three are quite common. So the difference are the verb. So 擦 is actually like you clean a surface. So 擦地,擦地. And 拖地, 拖 is the verb of dragging. So imagine when you are, mopping the floor, you kind of like, you need to drag the stick. So you drag the stick around, and this is a quite vivid action. So 拖地,拖地. Ma di, ma di. Ma is also a very common word we use in northern part of China, so it just means clean. It's quite colloquial. And the last one, 洗地, 洗地. In this one, I only heard in Singapore or Malaysia, so they use 洗地 as in 擦地, 拖地, and 抹地. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now we see a nice lady is cleaning the table, right? So it has a surface. Remember we say when we have a surface, which one we can use? 擦 or 抹. Both are correct. 擦桌子,抹桌子. 抹桌子 is quite like a northern thing, but if you say 擦桌子, I'm sure everyone will know. So except 桌子, like the table, what can other objects be connected with 擦呢? So we can say 擦窗户, 擦窗户. It has a surface, right? 擦车, 擦车. A car. 擦脸, 擦脸. The face is also a surface, right? So we can also use 擦脸. It means to dry your face. 擦脸. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, please read after me. 叠被子,叠被子. 叠衣服,叠衣服. 叠袜子,叠袜子. 叠积木，叠积木。So the verb 叠 here, it can means to pile up or fold. Pile up and fold. So usually, when we fold the blanket, it's like one after one. So it's like a pile up. 衣服 as well, clothes. So you fold one by one and then put them nicely, maybe in your closet. 袜子 also. So you can fold them and put them nicely in an order. 叠积木. So one by one pile up. You can also say 搭积木. 搭积木. So it means build up. Okay. Next one. Remember before we saw the picture of a boy and a girl sweeping the floor, right? So this little boy here, you see, he's also sweeping the floor, right? Do you still remember the word? We say 扫地,扫地, right? What about the dad here? He's using a vacuum cleaner, right? So anyone knows the verb of vacuum the floor or the carpet? Okay, so we say, I'll tell you the answer later. The next one. So we are throwing the trash into the trash bin, right? What about this throw away, this action? What do you say that in Chinese? Okay, next question. This is very common, right? Every day after you wash the clothes, then you need to dry them, right? You hang them on the line and then wait them to dry, right? What's this action here? Okay, next one. So it's time of raining, and then you need to collect those clothes, whatever blankets, stuff you have there, and then you need to take them back, right? What's the verb here? Okay, let's review the answers. So the first one, 吸地板,吸地板. Remember the vacuum cleaner? What's the Chinese name for it? That's 吸尘器,吸尘器. So it basically, a direct translation is a dust sucking machine. So the verb will be 吸, 吸. There is similar action. For example, if you use a straw to drink bubble tea and you need the straw to get the bubbles up, so that action, you use your mouth to suck it up, right? So it's also 吸, 吸. And straw is also called 吸管,吸管. Okay. The second one, let's throw away the rubbish. The verb is 倒,倒垃圾,倒垃圾. Or you can always say 扔垃圾,扔垃圾, or 丢垃圾,丢垃圾. So all of them are correct. 晾衣服,晾衣服. So this one means you try to dry the clothes. Let's look at the left part of the character 晾. What do you see here? Let me write it out. See this one? It is 日, right? 日 means sun. So you use the sun to dry your clothes, right? 晾衣服. Okay. What about that you need to collect them? We say 收衣服,收衣服. It's quite vivid, right? So you need to collect it. 收 means receive. Receive. So you take the clothes back. 收衣服，收衣服。Okay. The second category. I believe this part, you all like it, right? Okay, cooking, 烹饪. So the first one, 切菜, 切菜. It means cutting, right? 切菜. Okay, the second one, I'm not sure if do you have a word in English to describe this? So you pick out the parts that you don't want from the vegetables, and then you keep the part that you want. So you kind of like trim the vegetables. We say 摘菜, 摘菜. So it means to trim vegetables or get rid of the parts that don't want. Okay? This one might be even unfamiliar with some of the Chinese people because this one is quite of a north thing, especially in Beijing or other north part of China. We say 马菜, 马菜. So you kind of, it means that you cut the vegetables and then you put them nicely in a plate and let them to be ready to be cooked. So 马菜 means nicely put, the ingredients you cut. 马菜. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Has anyone ever tried 炸酱面 before? 北京炸酱面. What kind of Chinese restaurant do you have in your country? Some of my students told me that they have only like fast food restaurant in their country. So they are not that easy to have access to the authentic Chinese food, especially like Beijing 炸酱面. This one is quite common in Beijing. So you see there are some side dishes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all these 7 side dishes, we call it 菜码. 菜码. So 菜码就是指拌在面里吃的菜. So they are the vegetables that you are supposed to mix in the noodles. 菜码. So it's quite similar to the verb that we just learned, right? 码菜. In that word, 码 is a verb. And in here, 菜码, it's a noun. So it refers to these well-cut vegetables that next to the noodle. You are supposed to mix them together and then eat. Okay, the next verb, we see we are here to fry some vegetables, right? I'm pretty sure this verb you are quite familiar with because you could see that easily on the window of a Chinese restaurant or like a small stall. You can see like 炒面, right? Fried noodles, 炒饭, fried rice. So this verb is 炒, 炒菜, 炒菜, 炒菜. I believe the ch sound here in Chinese we call it 吃, 吃. This sound is easy for you because it's similar in English like chance, right? So this sound, I hope it's not too difficult for you. Sometimes in the southern part, we can hear people also say 煮菜, 煮菜. They both correct. 煮菜 could be more general. So if you say 我煮菜了, it doesn't have to be necessarily vegetables. It could just simply refer to a meal. A meal. Okay? Okay, this one is interesting. I'm pretty sure all the Asian families, we all have a rice cooker. I'm not sure if you have one, but I do have one. And every time when we need to take out the rice, we put them in a bowl and then serve to people, right? So what's this action here? Do you have a word for that? All I can think of in English, it's probably scoop. So here in Beijing, we say 盛饭,盛饭. So that's the action. You scoop with this big spoon and then you scoop them into the bowl. You can also say 快饭,快饭 or 装饭,装饭. 装饭 is more like the rest of the places they use 装饭 a lot, but in Beijing or north part of China, we say 盛饭 a bit more, a bit more. The character 快 is very interesting because I've been saying this word for the whole of my life, but I didn't know how to write it until I started to search it. So 快 is really a uncommon words to write. However, we say that every single day in my family. 快饭. This word has three meanings. The first one means scratch. Have you ever felt that maybe there is a time that you feel there's an itch on your back, but you just couldn't reach it, and you ask your friends or your parents, your partner to scratch for you? You can say, 帮我快一下. And also, there are some people, do you have the friends like, when they got themselves like injury or wound, and when the wound start to get scars and he or she they just can't stop to peel it off. So you can also use 快. So you say 别快了. So stop peeling off your scars, let it heal. 快. This is the verb. This is quite like a North dialect thing. It's quite common in Tianjin, Beijing, um, and I've never heard any people from south of China to say 快, to be honest. So it really depends on where you are and see if they understand you or not. The second meaning is 跨. So I couldn't find a proper English explain for this action. So you kind of like hold the basket, but to use your hand, you hold it between your hip and then your hand to fix this basket, like the picture. So these action we also call 挎着，他挎着一个篮子，他挎着一个篮子。Again, in north of the China, probably common, but in south part of China, maybe not. The third meaning is the one we talked about before, scoop. 蒯一勺饭，蒯饭，蒯西瓜. So I remember in summer, me and my dad, we will have, half of the watermelon for both of us. And then we just use a spoon to 蒯西瓜, to scoop it. 蒯西瓜. Okay. That will be today's session. And hope you enjoy this whole slide. And if you are happy, please leave a comment below and let me know that you enjoy this presentation. And if you have any questions that you do not know, for example, there might be a certain action or movement that you wonder, how to say that in Chinese. You can also leave a comment below and tell me so I can reply you directly. So thank you for your listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.